Welcome to Peaking to Success, the podcast that delves deep into our guest success stories. The highs, the lows, the lessons learned, and if there's any exciting future plans lined up. Talking about future plans, Peaking into Success is proudly supported by Peak Wills and Estate Planning. We're here to support you with any future planning. Long gone are the times of solicitors in suits and ties and dark rooms and outdated practices. We are proud to offer a fresh and dynamic approach to the stuffy old world of wills, changing the way we talk about what happens when we die. But that's enough talk about death on a podcast introduction. It's time to pass you over to Peaking into Success host, Mr. Adam Kahn. Whose success are we peeking into this episode, Adam?
Thanks, Sam. Today on episode 42 of the podcast, we have on a woman who has played for many clubs of Everton, Doncaster Belles and her hometown of Leeds, as well as playing for England, and now has moved on to create her own company as a mindset and performance coach. We have Chantel Woodhead.
Want to know what's happening within Derby's black community? Or perhaps you have a story of your own to share? Then look no further than Majatu, your one-stop source for local African and Caribbean news. With our digital news platform and quarterly print magazine, keep up to date on all of the latest in arts, entertainment, food, sports and more. Find us online at mojatu.com.
Hi Chantel, how are we today?
I'm okay, thank you, Adam. Very good.
Good, it's good to meet. We met halfway today in Sheffield, so it's good to kind of do it in person, as I like to feed off your energy and kind of get the vibe instead of doing it over the screen. So it's good for you to come down today from Leeds. For anyone that doesn't know what you kind of do now as well as in the past, do you want to sum up what you do in a nutshell for them?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you a little introduction. Yeah, it's nice to meet you, Adam. Thank you for inviting me to the podcast.
Thank you.
So my name's Chantel Woodhead, otherwise known as Shanny to a lot of people in the game. I'm an ex-England international, and I've won, at the time, all the medals that were available to me to win. So that was the League Cup, the FA Cup, and the League. So I did the treble one year. My nickname actually was DBS, Dead Ball Specialist. That was given to me by the lovely and the late Julie Chipchase, who gave me that at Doncaster Belles. So that's nice. And now I work with elite footballers with the mental side of the game, maintaining and making champions. That's what I do now.
No, that's a nice way of summing yourself up.
Cheers.
So of course we'll go back to the beginning, and of course the women's game and you getting into it. How did you originally get into it? Was it kind of when you were a child, did you have to play alongside the boys, or was it kind of you joined the women's team and then worked your way up from there?
That's correct. I originally started at Farsley Celtic when I was about 13 years old. Just went to Sunday games with my dad. You know, I always had his boots on, which were a size 11. You know, and I was only about 4. And then went to Farsley Celtic. Started there. I think they saw a little bit of potential in me. So I then went to Bradford City. Nice. I had a lot of years at Bradford City, just kind of finding my feet and gaining experience in many five-a-side tournaments. I had a good junior setup. Used to take us all over. We used to take penalties at half-time at Valley Parade.
Nice.
So I've had a few comments shouted at me, back in them days, but very rarely did I miss one, I've got to say. I think I only missed one once and never again, never again. And then from Bradford City, I kind of got, without being big-headed, a little bit too good for them and needed to find and go in search of better football.
Okay.
So I then went to a National League side called Bronte, who was in Shipley in Saltaire. And I remember the football pitch was right near the canal, and the ball kept going in the canal. So me and my dad, we usually got our fitness from chasing the ball down the canal in them days. But I don't think it did us any harm. And again, outgrew Bronte in a way, where a really decisive moment came where 2 or 3 of the players who was really quite good had to make a decision maybe to move on to different clubs, and a couple of my friends went down to London to Arsenal. A couple went to Millwall, Actually a bit random, Millwall, but they did. and my option was probably to go with them to London and play for Arsenal, or play for Doncaster Belles, who were, in my opinion, the best team in the country at that time.
Nice.
And I think my confidence must have been high as well, with 9 of the 11 players in the England squad, and me going there thinking that I could be in there.
Nice.
So when I look back, I think, gosh, I must have been quite confident. 9 of the 11 are in the England squad, and I think I'm getting in that squad.
But that's kind of wanting to exceed, isn't it? If you can see, 9 of the 11 are there, if I put myself in there, I can push myself up to the next level.
Absolutely. And like I said, they were the best team in the country. It was the best decision I made. And I made we had so much success. Well, it threw me into a world of success and fame.
Nice. And I mean, how many years did you spend at Doncaster Belles?
I think it was about 5 years I spent in total at Doncaster Belles.
And then what was your decision to leave it? Of course, then you moved on to Everton.
That's correct. So did the treble with them, went on to get my England cap when I was with Doncaster Belles at that time as well. So it was a real peak time of my career when everything was going really well. I was achieving. My fitness levels were high, and mentally, I was really on the ball. And then I think I'd been to play for England. We know we'll come to later in the kind of story my experience with England. But I did, unfortunately, my career got ended quite earlier than I anticipated. And it's difficult not having a dream, because I think when you have a dream, it gives you a goal or an aim to aim for something. And I knew at that point then I wasn't going to get back in the England squad. I just knew that in my heart, and I knew that I wasn't in the plans. I went to Everton then, because a friend of mine, she moved to Everton and we moved together. And I had 5 lovely years actually as a toffee at Everton. A real nice set of girls, and it was a little bit more light-hearted, and I enjoyed football for a time, but really with no aim to aim for. The motivation there is poor, because why at that time I'm not even getting paid, and I'm travelling twice a week, 3 times a week to go play for Everton.
So were you going from Leeds to
Everton? Okay. Yeah, 2 or 3 times a week, and even in my days when I played for Doncaster Belles, I worked for Leeds United Football Club. I was heavily involved there for many years, and the funny thing was, when I actually got my call up for England, they wouldn't give me any time off to go to train, and I worked for the football club, and I said, I'm going to play for England, can I have a week off or whatever? They said, you have to take it out of your holidays. And I said, but Gordon Strachan, because Gordon Strachan used to get me boots for me. So Copa Mundial, if he went to Adidas, I was like, Gordon, get me some boots. And I said, well, Gordon's gone to play for Scotland, and he hasn't had to take it off his holidays.
No.
And he's an employee of Leeds United.
Yeah.
So why am I taking it off me? It was the way it was. And they didn't acknowledge, or they didn't see it as an equal. And therefore it wasn't. But that's how it was in them days. So I went to play for Everton for, like I said, 5 years, but it kind of fizzled out, and I don't really know why. I always said I'd play till I was about 30, and I think I quit just before I was 30.
Oh, really?
But I could have gone on more if I'd have had incentive, and if somebody had put their arm around me and got hold of me, because you missed a lot of talent there. Somebody missed a treat getting rid of me.
But that's the thing. So, of course, with all the kind of people they have around the club now, like all the psychologists and stuff like that, and they're like all the coaches and stuff, did no one kind of convince you to stay on and be like, oh, you've got a couple more years in you, or was it just like you said, I'm thinking of retiring, and they were like, sure.
Yeah.
There was no push.
Not really. No.
That's mad, isn't it?
And I didn't even expect it. That was just my decision. I'd had enough. I have a lot more things to my life, actually. My life was never just football.
Yeah.
I have friends. I have, I enjoy doing other interests. And so, I'm a busy lady, So if I'm not getting anything out of it, and I'm not going to play for England, and all I'm doing is getting injured.
Yeah.
And I'm getting injured that much, actually, that it's affecting my work. But I can't go to work where I get paid.
That's mad, isn't it? And it's mad that, of course, people, especially younger people, won't understand it. You didn't get paid a single penny from your whole playing career.
The love of the game, absolutely. We played for the love.
And that's
Yeah.
mental that the pay was never there. So do you know when the pay came in?
It was certainly after I
Yeah.
retired. Yeah. I think Mohammed fired. He once brought in at Fulham a couple of players from abroad
Okay.
and started to pay, and hoping other clubs would follow suit. But actually, it didn't happen at that time.
That's mad.
But it came obviously. I think Arsenal probably were maybe a big leading club to. They're coming all the tracksuits, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'd all look a right mess, you know, but at Arsenal would be... Anyway, it made us want to beat them more.
Yeah,
we saw in all the nice gear.
So of course, with the women's game from then to now, what do you think are the main couple of factors that have changed?
Well, it's just so many, isn't there?
Yeah.
I think, first of all, the facilities that they have are amazing and just give you such a pedestal to go at. You know, I remember playing for Leeds United, and this really bothered me actually at the time. And we used to train at Thorpe Arch, which is where their training ground is.
Okay.
And they used to let us train on the AstroTurf pitch. And then to the right and the left of us was loads of lovely green grass pitches. And we couldn't play on them, but the boys could. The under-14 boys could, you know, and the men could train, but the women, and I'd say, well, why can't we play on that lovely grass there?
Yeah.
Oh no, they won't let the women play. We had to have the AstroTurf. So again, I don't know whys and whatever.
Yeah.
But the fact is, the under-14 boys could play on the grass, and the women couldn't. And I think that is heavily unfair.
So do you know, for your actual games, was it on AstroTurf or was it on grass?
No, main games were on grass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on grass, but just at the training facility when I played for Leeds United.
Yeah.
We trained at Thorpe Arch, but
Okay.
we was only given a designated, you know, stay in that little area.
Yeah.
Don't talk to anyone. Just stay in that area. Keep yourselves to yourselves. You know, it was kind of like that.
What was the attendance like back then to now?
Yeah, Doncaster Belles got quite a decent following at their matches. I'm only talking a couple of thousand, you know, I'm not talking...
But that's still good for back
then. In them days. And they were one of the more supporter clubs. And then we went down to Arsenal, the cup finals. Obviously, I played in a few cup finals. So, you know, at bigger stadiums.
Yeah.
So we get, you know, obviously more thousand, it's over 10, 15,000 for maybe an FA Cup final.
Which is good.
Yeah.
And I mean, with them amount of numbers, you'd assume that there will be some scope to at least pay you some incentives to, of course, stay on.
Yeah.
But there never was.
You know, and I don't think it were ever thought about either. You know, we all love football.
Yeah.
You know, I played for Doncaster. These were salt of the earth girls. You know, come from pit families. You know, we just dusted down and got on with it. You know, we weren't bothered about money. We didn't play a match and win and go, right, we want rewarding for that. Our reward was what we had,
Yeah.
you know, for the enjoyment of the game. And, you know, looking back, like I said, it was never at the forefront of anybody's mind. Football was.
No.
Not money. Football was.
It's
never about money.
Whereas for some of the women now, of course, they're transferring to go abroad and to bigger clubs for the money.
Yeah.
Because I think the transfer fee for a woman now is 500,000.
Yeah, absolute massive changes.
But then, of course, the money they're getting paid abroad and everything, people are going for the money, which is a shame. Is of course the football then sometimes is decreased, and the level of play. So I mean, probably you guys playing for the passion.
Yeah,
you probably played better football and played to your ability because you wanted to play.
Absolutely, and you know, if the manager said he wanted this, or come on, let's get a couple of goals. You know, nobody was on a certain amount per goal.
Yeah,
they wanted to do it for Paul Edmonds, our manager. You know what I mean? That gives us more pleasure than £500. You know, I'm not bothered about £500. But no, it was just not the focal point. So obviously things have changed. The women are getting paid. The men are probably getting paid too much.
True.
Where sometimes, you know, I do believe money is the root of all evil. And sometimes, you know, we can get a little bit ahead of ourselves and money can be a game changer. And I'm not a fan of money particularly. You know, I'm a fan of people and values.
100%.
And, you know, being authentic. and being real and choosing a club on your heart
This
rather
is it.
than the money.
Yes, I mean, there's a lot. Imagine I'll go back 10, 15 years, even in the men's game, a lot of people like one club
Yeah.
and that's it. I mean,
Loyalty stands for not
this,
a lot, I don't think.
No,
these
it's
years.
you show a check,
Mhm.
and I don't even think the players understand how much they get taxed.
Yeah.
But they're just like, yeah, I'll go because it's that amount. And like all of the men going to Saudi Arabia now, I can see to follow suit
Yeah.
that there's going to be someone else that's trying to outdo them.
Sure. But again, it's about priorities. And if money is your priority, then that's fine. That's your choice to go for that.
Yeah.
And hopefully you will be happy in your football, you know, and that's what you want. But let's hope you don't make a choice to go for money and you're unhappy.
This is it.
Is it. And the family life as well that goes with it. That's why I do support people off the field.
Yes.
You know, with other things. You know, I don't do things for them because I'm not a PA. You know, because you know, I had. Let's say you text someone who says, "Well, you know, every time I go home, there's cameras there." You know, what do you expect? You're a top footballer.
This is it.
You know, don't see that as a negative. You know, I'd be thinking, God, I've made it. You know, somebody's waiting for me. Now, you either deal with that in a way where you put your head down and hide under a sheet and run into your house, or you acknowledge them and you say, do you want a scone? You know, and you make friends with them, and it doesn't, you know, bother you. And that's how you can be right with people, you know, or not. And then they might say, well, if it's bothering you, we can maybe get them back. Or I might say, I'd move out if there's something going on for a couple of months and come back. Yeah. Well, can you sort that out? No, I can't sort it out. I'm not your PA. I'm just telling you these are the options that you've got.
Yeah, you're more like the director. You're kind of just giving him that shoulder
guidance,
and
and options, and you know, but ultimately they will make that decision. It's 100%. Not me who's telling.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a kind of just, again, chatting to look at the options that are available to you and what might be best for you going forwards.
Yeah, that's
so,
nice.
You know, if you're not playing well at the moment, or I can try and revive a player who's, you know, I always got sent the bad boys, if you like, or the bad girls, the ones that were rebelling.
Yes.
Because I generally could sort them out where nobody else could. You know, they could get through to them. You know, they could just find something, you know, to relate. And once I've got you, I can do loads with you. But if I can't reach you when I'm talking to you, that's pointless as a coach. You know, so they always tend to send me the bad ones who are maybe slacking off or heads down a little bit, they're not playing right well. And it's my job to try and find out, actually, what is going on here and why are we not fulfilling to what you can actually do? Is it because you're not bothered? No, I'm really bothered. Okay then, well, why are we not doing this, that and the other and scoring another 10 goals a season? When you know you can. You know, I'm just not that bothered. Well, do you think you should be? You are a footballer. Well, yeah. How much more money are you going to get for a goal? £300. Right, and I think it's worthwhile. 10. You know, exaggerate. So what do we need to do to get you more goals as a centre forward? You know, what's your ratio? Where are you scoring your goals from? What positions do we need to get in that you're good at? Where are your super strengths?
Yeah.
You know, so we can find that out. Right, let's try and do that. Oh, I don't like this, and so-and-so's playing. Right, well, next time, go up against him again.
Yes.
And this time, think that, you know, it's not even a problem to you. Because right now we're focusing on him, and he's got nothing to do with price of fish.
Yeah, that makes sense. And, I mean, you talking about this, what is the reason that it's called On Your Feet? Is there a reason behind it?
Yeah, because I was always told to stay on my feet.
Oh, okay.
Because I was always on the floor. And the manager would say, listen, Shannon, stay on your feet. Don't go to ground, else you're out of the game.
That makes sense.
And if you're out of the game, we're finished. Well, we're finished. And somebody's going to either jump past us and go score because we've put ourselves out. So I don't want us to be on the floor. We need to, in football and in life, we need to stay on our feet.
Yeah, that's nice.
And that's the reason for the name. Because it was relevant, and also, like I said, I'm not all about football. I'm about life.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to navigate players through life and life challenges and life pressures, and there is a lot off the field. Fears.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, the biggest fear of a footballer is probably to not be one.
Yeah, true. That's true.
If I say, what's your biggest fear? To not be a footballer.
It's all that kind of pressure from early on to kind of, you've got to do it, you've got to do the next thing, you've got to get to the next level.
Yeah.
Whereas when they're left to their own devices, that's when the performances and the actual level and their mindset drops, I assume.
Exactly. And strong mind, strong performance.
Yeah.
So it's all about getting into that mind, finding what they're thinking, making sure if it's correct or not, what they're thinking, because often it isn't. I can't kick with my left foot. Well, actually, you can.
You just need to train it.
Yeah. Oh, you're not very good at this. Well, what do we need to do to be good at that?
Yeah, true.
So any negative they come with, we're obviously changing that to a positive and trying to sort the problem out together.
100%. And I mean, with how you talk and how you try to help get the best out of people, would you go into kind of a coaching role? Is how you talk and how you're trying to bring the best out of people, is especially at that kind of under 18s, under 21s level where it's like make or break.
Yeah.
How you talk and how you kind of go about it and try and help people elevate themselves would be key to any club.
I think you're right in that I could probably make an impact in many things, whether that be coaching, whether that be commentating, anything in football. And I never fancied it. I never fancied coaching. I love my Sunday dinners. My life revolves around dinner. And so, being at home with my parents and having Yorkshire pudding and beef and, roast potatoes, I'm not missing that for anybody's game these days.
No,
I've had
enough.
20 years of doing it every Sunday, going to Arsenal, going to Southampton and missing my dinner. And now, in my later years, I want to spend time with my family. I don't want to be out, I never like cold weather.
No.
So I don't want to be, on the bench, sat, in the rain. I don't want that.
No, that's fair enough.
What I do have a passion for is people. And although I have transferred to this job now, for the last 20 years, I've been doing a similar role, but in something different.
Okay.
And I don't know whether you ever feel like you've ever been in the wrong place. That happened to me.
Okay.
So I was working at Leeds United, actually, which is very relevant to football as well. I've been a driving assessor for 25 years and assessing driving, but really getting inside the head of the driver.
Okay.
That kind of thing. So it's been similar, but not with football. So I've done that just by accident. I got into that. My sister was pregnant. She was a driving instructor. Said, "Would you help me out?" I said, "Okay," for a week. 17 years later, I'm still there, and I'm like, I just feel like I'm in the wrong place. And I think when COVID hit, I think we all looked at our lives
100%.
and took stock. And I was one of them and said, "Hang on a minute. I love working with these people now. I do, but they're not my people." The driving people, they're not my people. They're not my sports, football people, and I want to do this, but with them, because I feel like I'm wasted here.
True.
I don't need to be here with you. I need to be with Jack Grealish. You know what I mean? I'm in the wrong place here. And I finally had I'm taking my own medicine now and my own advice in putting myself into the, uncomfortable situations, a business I know nothing about. Interviews, putting myself at the forefront when actually I'd love to just be this face in the background and players come to me. That'd be lovely.
Which you'll get to in time, surely.
Hopefully, yeah. But at the moment, I'm having to put myself out there to obviously gain some exposure, to tell people that I am here and I am able to, offer value to your playing career and actually help you through the season, become that champion player that you want to be.
Do you approach the players then individually? So do you go that route, or do you go to a club and go, do you know of any players that might need my help?
You're asking some very good questions, Adam. So, it's, again, being new to it, not sure where to go. But I've tried it all. I've tried to go to players' agents and request a meeting with the player.
Okay.
Hasn't happened. Not passed it over, or it just hasn't happened, but I can ask.
Right.
So I don't know why there's a blockage there to my request.
That makes sense.
And then they'll say they're fine. Oh, well, that's great, but I'd like to hear it from the horse's mouth.
100%.
Kind of thing. but I haven't had it, so it's been disappointing. The clubs, I've been trying to get into Leeds United for a while. A very common statement: we have our own people. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't see them myself, but and Leeds are my team as well.
Yeah.
So very close to my heart. I can see I can do certain jobs there with certain players, but unfortunately I can't get the access, which is very frustrating for me.
Yeah.
The players
100%.
don't even know I'm here. I'm like waving in the background, going hey, hey. But they have their own people to say that come in, and just. I had a little bit of negativity, really. I don't feel like they want me near, and I don't want to work with a football club and be that Everton, say.
Yeah.
I don't want to work for Everton. I love the fact that I'm independent, and I'd love to work together with them.
Yeah.
And enhance it rather than take something away. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, yeah.
I want to work with them. Maybe they have a player who is struggling, and maybe they haven't got the time, or and they could pass that player over, and I would have more time to deal with that, and probably be able to know what the answer is to improving.
Yeah, 100%.
But I don't at the minute. I just haven't had the leads and the options to do that. So I do find it's always a barrier to reaching elite footballers because they're like celebrities these days.
100%.
And there are gatekeepers around them.
Oh, I've noticed that we're trying to get people.
Oh, so hard.
People won't do it, and the ones that will,
yeah,
is because you've been suggested by someone else.
Exactly.
So that's your whole thing, guys. In that it's you've got one player, and then maybe they've got a teammate or someone they know from a previous club, and then you get referred, and then it's kind of that's
it's all about word of mouth, isn't it? And that trust that I said. Once you trusted. And and I always have an NDA, a non-disclosure.
Yeah.
So everything is confidential. And everything stays within my four walls.
Yeah.
And that's a standard. But if nobody knows that until they know you, you're nothing.
Very true.
Now yes, I do have that credibility that I have been an ex-England international. I am a lioness, if you like. So hopefully that works in my favour at times.
Yes.
But as far as being Chantel Woodhead, nobody kind of knows my character and what I can actually, my values, if you like, which is trust, honesty, standards.
Yes.
And I would expect that if somebody passed me a player, they would get all that. But nobody knows that.
This is it. They don't know until they know.
The future is hoping to get that one or two elite first team players in the Premier League, ideally.
Yeah.
And that's because I think statistics are saying that 1 in 3 Premiership players need support, particularly with the mental health.
Yes.
And that has been documented. So the academy players are getting a lot of help. But I just feel we're neglecting the top stars. Maybe
100%.
because the stars and nobody dare approach them or bring them in.
This is it. They don't want to kind of humanise them, I assume.
Exactly. I want to remind them of how to be a good person.
100%.
And bring them back to school a little bit to just good practice, respect, that kind of thing. And, on a level, who they are now as well. Because they're still the same person as they were. They're just in a more social, kind of label. They're in the public eye more.
Yeah, very true.
But, does that change people? Probably. Do they even know they've changed? Maybe not.
Very true.
And I will know when they're talking to me how they are. So if I had a player who'd had a problem with, I don't know, it might have been a lady that there'd been some issues.
Yeah.
And it had been out in the press. I'm not saying I read all the press because I don't take any notice of that.
No.
But if they say, it's been in the press, I would ask them if it's true or not.
Yeah.
I would give them the opportunity to tell me. I would expect the truth. Because I can't work with you if you're going to lie to me. And also I will know if you're lying.
Yeah.
Because I've just got that age experience where I'm very intuitive. So if we get on that scale and say, well, okay, yeah, it did happen. Because there's no smoke where there's fire.
Yeah.
So something must have occurred. And I will see that. And we will hopefully together, again, want to work on that to be better. To portray you as the person that you really are. Because that's a poor reflection of you. And if that really is you who's doing that, then I'm going to tell you that's wrong.
Yeah.
And that's not how we behave. You know what I mean?
That's good, isn't it? Because then, in effect, going back to like foundations, like you are, it's hopefully gonna grow that passion of football back and kind of going back to the basics. Is I assume you asked, why did you get into the game, stuff like that, and then that's the motion to try and spark the fire again, I assume.
Absolutely. You know, I want to bring that fire back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why did they get into it? Why, you know, are they becoming a little bit stale and just picking up the paycheck? You know, getting sloppy almost.
This is it. I mean, when you signed up to so much a week, if you drop in performance, sitting on the bench, you still get the same money, don't you?
Yeah.
So,
you know, we could name many players that are underperforming.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that. That people just haven't found the reason for it.
This is it.
But I believe I can find the reason why they're underperforming, fix it, and send them back playing amazingly to their full potential. Because we've solved that problem that they didn't even know they had. You know, so I love people, I love working with people, and I just have a sense or a hunch what people need or what the issue is.
Nice.
So I might push them, and they might say, well, no one's ever asked me that before. And I say, well, I'm asking you.
Yeah.
So what do you say? You know, but. And then we get, you know, and sometimes we get tears. I've had tears, I've had the lot, because I've touched a nerve. Or I've said something to somebody that nobody's asked or nobody's thought of when I knew it was an issue and it might be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, one of my things is I'll say to someone, we will, on this course, have uncomfortable talks that we may have to have.
Yeah.
Are you ready for that? In a way, you know, is that okay? Are you ready to discuss things? You know, because that it's okay if you're not.
Yeah.
But a lot of them will say, yeah, I'm ready to have uncomfortable situations in order to grow.
Do you think because football's a team sport, that kind of what you do is kind of hidden? Or do you think, what do you think the reason that football kind of got such a kind of stigma, people not like talking and trying to fix their issues?
Yeah, I think when you're in a team environment, you just get on with it, you know, there's a little bit of banter, a little bit of jokes, you know, no one's got any issues, everything's hunky-dory, you know, and you don't want to, you know, come looking like you've got a, you know, miserable face, you know, so you act it. So there's a lot of great actors out there. In fact, I'm one myself, you know, so I know an actor, you know, but maybe they're smiling, but possibly they're not smiling.
No, that's...
And I think it being in a team, and particularly a male environment, it's very difficult to, even in your own, you know, and I know they all have to have player welfare this and player liaison officers, and they all have different names, but ultimately they're ticking the box to say I look after the players.
Yeah.
But there's still players coming out saying they've issues. So it might be missing some people.
So they're just kind of quickly checking where you're more in depth with your approach.
Yeah, I mean, all clubs will be different and some will be better than others, I'm sure.
Yes.
But all clubs, like Leeds United, I think they all have to have some sort of player kind of thing.
Okay.
But if I were to type in Leeds United, who looks after the mental side of it, absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. You know, so yeah, a lot of people have that player care, but I wouldn't, if I were playing for Doncaster Belles and I had a problem, I wouldn't go to my player care person.
No.
I just wouldn't. That's me. So if I wouldn't go to my own player care person, I wouldn't expect, you know, Marcus Rashford to go to somebody at Manchester United.
This is it. It's kind of, there's probably the stigma around it of, I'm going to someone to do with the club and that'll get back to the manager and then the manager may not favour me.
It might not, but it's certainly something that's out there.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know, I set up On Your Feet as an independent outlet.
Yes.
On purpose, because I believe it brings benefits.
100%.
You know, for someone, you know, outside the club, nobody'd ever know.
No.
You might tell nobody. Nobody'd ever know. Secretly do it. That's the great thing about
it.
it.
And then they'll reap the rewards of the performance getting better.
Back, your manager say, what's happened to you? So I've been talking to Shelley for the last 6 weeks. You know, I'll have a bit of that. So I think if they knew about me, you know, then, yeah, we could do more impact. But that's the challenge, to just gain exposure, tell these elite footballers, listen, I don't care how big you are, you know, I don't care how much money you're on, I don't care if you are, you know, top 10 in the world, I will still speak to you like I'll speak to somebody else.
Yeah.
because you're ultimately, if I'm looking at person, mindset, and performance, which I split it down to.
Okay.
Yeah, in me. So I've kind of developed a signature program.
Okay,
it's an
nice.
8-week course. It's called 8.
Nice.
There you go, original. There you go. It's an 8-week course, and it covers the person, the mindset, and the performance.
Okay, nice.
Okay, so a couple of weeks on this, a couple of weeks on that. But ultimately, all of them 3 come down to the person. Because
100%.
What's the person's mindset? What's the person's performance? And if there is an issue with the mindset and the performance, it'll be down to the person.
Very true.
So it's all about the person, and I am a people person. So if I can find out your character, find out what you're thinking, rewire it so it's correct.
Yeah.
Have a look at your limiting beliefs. Things like that. Oh, I always get booked at this ground. I've said it myself. And what happened? I got booked. So, don't say that.
No.
I always have a nightmare at this ground. Yeah, I did. Because I said it.
But then that's a mentality, isn't
Exactly. So let's go into this match and say, listen, I don't always get booked here. Yeah. Now, actually, I always have a blinding game and I never get booked here. That's what we should be saying.
Exactly.
So, mindset and mentality going into that game. And I've done it all. So I've done it all wrong, in a way, so that I can tell you to not do that. But these are the beliefs and the limiting beliefs people are coming with. Like I said, I always get booked at this ground. I hate that ground. I hate that ref. I never play well with that ref. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, the ref's got nothing to do with it all. But you get it in your head that ref doesn't like it.
And then, it just, the frustration comes out.
I'm never a fan of refs, in fact. Half of me quitting were because of refs. Not a fan of them.
No.
In fact, I wouldn't even give anybody a lift if they were a ref. I'm not a fan. Really not. And I remember one time I did something and the ref went, "Do you want to go off, Chantel?" And I couldn't believe he knew my name. And I was like, "Ref, how do you know my name? That's hilarious." No, don't want to go off, thank you. If you've got this ref and you have had an issue, in the past, I would go straight up to him and say, "All right, John, let's have a good one today." And set your stall out and show him that you respect him.
100%.
Say, "All right, sir, let's have a good game." I would respect you for doing that.
Yeah.
I never thought about doing that, I might say. Well, listen, you don't have to. But if I were you, I'd get on his good side straight away. And then think that you like the ref, because now you're best friends.
Yeah, true.
I'm not saying you have to go out for tea, but get on his good side, because it's going to do you favours.
100%.
And right now, the attitude you're going out with, I don't like that ref, he always books me.
He's going to book you.
Because you're going to get booked again, and you're going to be, not happy with the ref all the time. That's going to affect your performance.
Definitely.
So forget the ref, he's lovely. He's lovely, he likes you, and he never books you.
And there you go.
Let's turn it round, and that's what we do. So the course is, it's a really good course that sets up and aims to tackle, not only your mentality and your mindset, but also looking after ultimately the player, because that is paramount to mental health, and especially in the news these days of how big we are.
Yeah.
Ultimately, all that matters to me is not football; it's the person.
100%.
I don't even care whether you're not playing well. I do, but I don't. I care that you're all right.
Yeah.
I care that you're talking to me in a manner where you're here and you're present and you've got a future and you've got future plans. I don't want to be sat here with you thinking that you've got no future, your life's a mess, and you're not going anywhere in your football career.
Yeah.
Well, let's question that. And if that's true, we can either do two things. We can either change it so we make it where you are going somewhere in your football career, or, you know what, sack it off if that's the case, and let's go, because you've got a lot of different assets that you're great at. You could be a golf coach.
Yeah, true.
It's in your golfing skills that you were telling me about a minute ago. I'm exaggerating.
Yeah.
So we could even go into that. So don't think that you're finished because you're not going to be a footballer or you're not going to make it to the level that you've set, because maybe you've set your expectations too high. You only had a cruise ship at Operation 2 years ago, and you're expecting to play for PSG.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's possible, because your goals are my goals, and if you want that, I will do my best to help you on that journey with them goals. It's not about me.
No.
It's about you. It's not my
that's
goals.
Nice.
So if you want to play for PSG and you just had, a cruciate, hey, if that's your dream, I dream it too.
Yeah,
Let's
no,
do it.
that's nice.
And let's work towards that. And we'll give it our best shot. And maybe, not right now, but maybe in 6 months or a year, we'll take restock. And we'll see where we are and see if our progress is going well. And if not, hey, it's not a problem. At least we're giving it a go. And we'll have a look at the reality in a year.
True. No, that's nice.
But you're coming to me and telling me what you want and let me help you get there. And Matthew, the guy in Norway said to me, he just said he can't wait to get playing without his shackles on. He's so mature. And he said to me the other day, and I don't want to play, and I'm looking after my body a little bit more and all that. And I said, is that the same person that I knew a year ago? I said, a year ago I was holding you back with reins.
Yeah.
You said to me, I'm going training, but I've only got one arm. And I said, Matthew, you can't go training with one arm. If somebody didn't have a player or something, you'd step in to play.
Yeah.
I said, and just because there were either no one else or they needed a centre half or whatever, and you played it, but you were injured. I said, let them get someone else, because where's the player welfare there? They're not bothered about you.
No.
They're bothered that they want that. They need a player.
Yeah, they need the whole filling.
And,
so.
If not, they're going to lose and all this. Listen, not your problem.
No.
Yeah, you play now, and he did play, and he broke his wrist, and he went out for a year. And I said, hey, listen, it was your choice.
Yeah.
It was your choice to do that. And then yesterday I spoke to him, and he said, I've got my hips a little bit, whatever. He said, so I'm not going to play. He said, because actually, after my football, he said, I've got another 40 years of career, of my life. And I want to stay all right for that. And
100%.
I said, oh, God, I can't believe it. I cannot believe this changed person that I had. And in my course, I've put down some statements that I'd put, like it might have said, I need to be above par. That was one of his statements.
Yeah.
And I said, that's a very deep word. I need. Do you need? You know what I mean? I would say I want to be it. I'd like to be above par. But you see the extremeness of footballers. I need to be above par.
Yeah.
That's how it comes across. And I said, you don't need to be anything. Yeah? So we'd like to be above par. Do you still think you need to now? This is a year, 2 years down the line. He said, no, I don't need to be now. I want to be.
That's good.
So all the statements that we went through, I have to be, I have to be the best in the team. Well, no, you don't have to be, because what's the consequence?
Nothing.
There isn't one, but back in the day, there was a massive consequence.
Okay.
And I said, do you still feel that going into that? No. And I said, God, just a change, man. I need to change my sheet here, because we're just their old news.
Yeah.
We're a completely different man, and we're going into this with a mindset which is just totally different from the old you. And I'm so proud of you. You're just not that man anymore. Couldn't believe it.
That's good.
And we've created that together, and I'm not getting. I've gained no benefits from it.
Yeah.
It's all him. And a lot of his early training, I won't lie, and I'm terrible me, because I'm so nice. I'm working and I'm doing this. I'm doing it all for free. I'm not making a massive amount of money at the moment, but I'm working.
Yeah.
And my probably downfall is sometimes I don't get what I should. So I've got my own kind of issues I need to work on. And one of them is probably, being a little bit more pushy in what I should be deserving of. And with him early stages, playing for Dagenham and Redbridge, lots of issues at the club at the time. Didn't have much money. I paid him this and that. I said, Matthew, forget it. I'm not bothered about money. We'll do it for nothing. Because at that early stage, it was great experience for me. And so I got a lot, even though he's not paying me. I got a lot from it.
Yes.
And obviously it started to now.
Yeah.
I said, pay me when you get a contract.
Yeah.
Don't forget me, kind of thing. And obviously as he's got better now, and he said, I want you to come and work with me. He said, I want you, when I get signed up, I want you to take 5% of my contract. You know what I mean? I want you to have you there all year in my kit bag, so I can ring you. And he rang me a couple of times and said, oh, I've got a game tomorrow on AstroTurf. He said, and I haven't played on AstroTurf for a long time. Have you got any, how am I going to be, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I said, no, Matthew, don't worry. I said, I'm an expert at AstroTurf. I said, I've got the scars to prove it. So the first thing I'm going to say is, don't go to ground.
No.
Do not go on the floor because you'll rip your legs open. Secondly, move it quick because the ball is really quick on AstroTurf.
Yeah.
You don't want to have it round your feet, you know what I mean? Take some shots at the keeper because they'll fluff it because it's so bouncy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And watch the high ball over at the back, being a centre half.
Yeah.
Just watch the second bounce. You know what I mean? Because it's just bouncy. Oh, brilliant. This one Friday, you know what I mean? I think we're playing Oldham, something like that. And just get it out your feet, keep it, you know what I mean? Just keep it on the floor and steady away. Oh, thanks, brilliant. Oh, I wish you were with me. I wish you were with me. So, you know, it's so many different things that people ring me for. A bit of football relation stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in box and I'm worried what to do if ball comes over. I'm watching this player here and I said, oh, there's too much going on here. Only thing you need to be doing is if that ball comes over into your area, we get it out. You know what I mean?
100%.
You shouldn't be worried about what that player's doing. You've got your own thing on your own job. Oh yeah, brilliant. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's just a little reminder, you know, and a little bit of direction.
Yes.
And also I think confirmation is massive. Footballers love reassurance and confirmation
Yes.
that they're doing good. And I think, well, it's like little boys, isn't it? We all love a little bit of reassurance, and even when we get big kids,
Yeah.
we still need that.
100%.
And I think football is a very cold kind of game
Yeah.
where you're not patted on the back and given a hug. Well, you didn't used to be,
No.
but again these days you'll see Gareth Southgate coming off at England and giving him a hug. You know, but none of that. You know, in my day, we just went off and you didn't know whether you'd had a good game or a bad game, and no feedback, no analysts. You know what I mean? No nothing. You just were left to go, you know, and they might say, well, how do I know if I've had a good game? I'll tell you. You know yourself. Nobody told me I had a good game, but I knew. Well, my dad actually did. No, my dad told me I had a good game every time. That was great. But obviously, if you do ask people for that validation, they're not always going to tell you the truth.
No.
They might say, no, you were rubbish because they want your place.
That's
They
it.
might tell you you're brilliant, and you're brilliant every match, but that's not true. Because you wasn't brilliant.
No.
So the only person who can validate who played well on that day is you. So I knew if I had a good game.
And then that would make you play better in the next game.
Exactly. And, you know, somebody said, oh, how did you play? I said, well, brilliant. I was brilliant on Sunday. You know, I didn't get a goal, but, you know, nobody's got down my line. I was marking Rachel Yankee, let's say.
Yeah.
And somebody had said to me, oh, you're marking Rachel Yankee today. She plays for Arsenal, England International. I said, what are you telling me for? Do you know what I mean? Why are you telling me that? You know what I mean? Why let Rachel Yankee worry about me?
Yeah.
When she sees my name, Chantel Woodhead, on that thing, let her worry about me. I'm not worried about no Rachel Yankee. And I wasn't.
No.
And actually, a couple of times when I did play her, she moved to the other side. Not even up for the battle. So that's, I think, me, my character, which is feisty, obviously, aggressive, but on pitch. Lovely
Yes.
off the pitch. Lovely off the pitch. On it. Not
No.
so lovely. You know, just having that sense of humour as well, you know, and character, I think is just so important to keep it light-hearted.
100%.
You know, and a lot of footballers can relate to that. So, yeah. The lads that I am speaking to, in fact, they've revealed too much. The things they're revealing to me.
Yeah.
You know, I think as a lady, I think men do speak to women quite comfortably.
Yeah.
I do find that. And I think you've got to have a talent to be able to, like I said, reach those people, and I think I have it. So men do talk to me. In fact, like I said, I'm like, too much information, actually. Too much information. But they ask me about all sorts. They ask me about girls' trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It nothing to do with football.
But
I
it's
say,
helping them.
Yeah. So sometimes I've had to even sort relationships out. And I said, well, how do you think she'll be feeling about that? Because you've made that decision on your own. How do you think that makes her feel? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe you could do something for her the weekend after. You know that?
Yeah,
kind of thing?
true.
Oh, yeah. And then they'll come back and they'll say, I spoke to her and she's a lot happier now. You know, that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
that's
So,
what you need.
yeah, it's just so many things that we kind of talk about, and it's just nice to come in for a chat, even if there's nothing to do. I am actually doing this signature programme, like I said, which is very popular.
Yeah.
But sometimes I come in for the first session, and the first thing I always say is, how are you? And is there anything you'd like to discuss before we begin anything? Because it's a new week.
True.
And the chances are they'll go, well, I can't tell you about the week I've had. And then it all comes out. And we don't even get onto the course. We don't even get onto the course material because we're discussing, what had happened the week before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, got a new manager. Manager's been sacked. These are real life things. Yeah. And what's this new manager like? Oh, he's all right, but he's told everybody I'm too laid back. Okay. And are you too laid back? He said, I don't think so. I said, I don't. So don't worry about it.
There you go.
My wife's saying it.
Yeah.
But that's his opinion.
Everyone's got an opinion, haven't they?
Everybody's got one. It doesn't mean to say the truth. So let him have it.
That's it. Of course, you've mentioned England a lot of times. We'll kind of rewind back to that. What's the kind of training and the training and the team like around England compared to, of course, the clubs you were at the time?
Much more professional.
Okay.
At the England setup. The clubs tried, but back in my day, there wasn't much finance. So, we'd do what we could, with the hotels and, the kit stuff. Some players might be washing the kit themselves, every week a player would take it home, something like that. But now they've got, obviously, the facilities to do all that now. Very professional with the England setup. You normally got a rota.
Yeah.
It'd be 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock breakfast. 9 o'clock, training kind of thing, break time, analysts, that questions, bedtime at this time, and it was very, regulated, and a bit stricter.
Yeah.
Whereas if I were going for club, again, we weren't getting paid. I got paid a little bit at England at that time. But we used to kind of claim it back on experience. Don't tell them this. But we used to claim it back on what they call it, when expenditures.
Yeah.
And I'd always say that I'd been via London, not from Leeds. I'd been to London to pick Mary up, then I'd been to pick Jennifer up here. I hadn't.
Yeah.
And eventually I'd come round to St George's, wherever we were, and I'd then put in a bill for about £500. But really, I'd only come in car with somebody else to London. But don't tell them that. But that was my cheeky thing. But I don't think they were. It was many, many years ago.
Yeah.
But that's what we had to do. Be a little bit underhand almost to get what we deserved. Otherwise, I wasn't even getting fuel.
No.
You know what I mean? To playing for my country. And then you'd get so much when you were abroad. I think you'd got more money for staying abroad.
Okay.
Things like that. The food was all much better. And again, I've got a million stories. I really have. And I shouldn't probably tell you, get them all out of me today, Adam. But such things like this. I've always had a breakfast. I told you how food is important. And I've always had a breakfast before playing. And call it a bit controversial. I know some people have cornflakes. I like to breakfast. Simple as that. And I think I played well on a breakfast. I've had some of my best games on egg and bacon. But these days, it's not the done thing.
No.
Of course, we're all athletes now. And we're all having different food and nutrition. But back in the day, education was poor. And, I didn't know how much damage bacon and a sausage would do for me.
No.
And even at training, Ted Copeland, and this is about personality and being a little bit naive, I was probably, laid back, kind of just fun, but didn't realise what implications my actions may have. So, for example, at breakfast time, Ted Copeland come in. Probably Aubrey wasn't happy with me anyway. He banned sausages at breakfast. Sausages! We could still have bacon, but he banned sausages. Well, I wasn't happy. So it's like, what do you mean he's banned sausages? Like that. So I think when I thought they'd all gone out, I ordered a sausage. And I think the waitress kind of came and said, sausage for Chantel, kind of thing, Ted was just kind of there, and I was like, not me, just sliding down the table kind of thing. But in my eyes, it was just very innocent and a bit of fun. But actually, it probably worked against me, you know what I mean? Looking back.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that.
No.
I was just very innocent. But it's a lot more professional now, and I would never have them now because we're in a different era.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I would be eating porridge or whatever everybody else eats. And then, the food layout, the setup, the facilities, the pitches, the physios, we're a wet sponge job for us.
Yeah.
No kind of spray. Well, like, you're all right. Spray, wet sponge on my head. It was my ankle that were hurt. I'd say, kind of, what's going on? It's my ankle. But sometimes I just went down for a break. But just the professionalism that they've got now is amazing.
Yes.
And wow, I would just be amazed to play in this day and age now. I would be a world beater. There's no doubt about it. Given that setup and that platform, I would be a world beater. But like I said, I've no regrets on my career as I speak now. It's all in the right place, and I haven't held any grudges or anything like that. It was just my journey, and I do believe everything happens for a reason, and whatever reason it was, why it was meant to be, But like I said, after I was dropped, I did go off on a little bit of a wrong line, got in with from the crowd a little bit, started smoking, that kind of thing. Oh, with 2 fingers up to him, I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy. And, my mental health went plummeted to the depths of, depression and everything. And there was nothing in place for players who was let go or anything like that. There was just nothing. It just was unheard of.
Yeah.
So it was a case of dust off and just carry on playing. When my career's just been ended for wearing the wrong tracksuit, and I had to carry on. And I just again want to be there for other players who may find themselves not in the exact situation, but a little bit confused and not knowing, where they are really.
That's a nice way of putting it. Of course, what you're doing now kind of mirrors what you needed when, of course,
Absolutely.
The whole England thing happened, and kind of not knowing how to deal with certain situations, and that just shows that I've had this, but I'm going to give this back, and that's what you're doing now.
Absolutely.
Which is nice.
I needed a me when I was younger, and I didn't have that person to show me I could be better, to tell me I could be better, and to put things in place to give me the best, to be the best version of myself.
Which is a shame.
Which is a real shame, because, like I said, I didn't fulfil my potential, which is very sad for the game.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, what have they missed out on is, in your time, you said you've won every medal that you could domestically.
Yes.
Whereas, how many more could that have been if you had the right thing? How many more caps would it have been?
Exactly. Maybe I would have had a different attitude if I was speaking to someone, and once I were dropped for England, maybe I'd have tried again.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I didn't even try again because I just thought it's finished, it's over.
Was there a lot of competition in your position at that time?
No, I wouldn't say. No. I just thought he didn't like me as a player or a person. I don't know. It was so cold, I never had a discussion with him. I was never... It was just... I got a letter from the FA that said you dropped and you're out just before World Cup. That's it.
Jeez.
That's it. Goodbye. Thank you for your time. And then, like I said, then we get invited back to Wembley to do stuff.
Yeah.
They didn't invite me. So I just was like, oh, whatever. Just carried on playing tennis and didn't worry about it. But I did write to them, the FA, with a really... And I've still got it somewhere, and it's a great email. And it says something like, a bit of joke in there, and it says things like, I was with England for 4 years, this I was going to be the best thing since sliced bread, and then this happened, and and then I tried to get my cap, and I'm wondering where my cap is, because I played for England and I haven't got a cap. Why not? And they've come back and they've said we didn't give them out at that time. Sorry about that. That's it. Sorry about that. That's it. So clean cut. We didn't give them out at that time. Sorry about that. So deal with it. And that's what I have done for many, many years. And it's only now. I thought I'd lost the chance of even having a cap. I didn't even think I'd ever get one. So 24, 25 years I've been waiting. I think it was 1995 I had my performance, my England cap. And I've waited till only last year to receive it. And they've said we acknowledge that we want to show those who've been before us and acknowledge those players now, finally, which is lovely. I didn't ever expect it would ever happen. And like I said, so they've gone back and tried to find all the women who've played, and and then somebody had put, actually, my friend Sarah Beggsy we used to call her, she's got another name now, she's married, but we were as Beggsy, and Beggsy had to put to the FA, what about Chantel Woodhead? So I didn't get the official email that everybody got about welcoming them to Wembley. They didn't welcome me to Wembley. My friend, or one of my teammates, said, what about Chantel Woodhead? Oh, what about her? She played for England. It's insulting. I don't want to talk about it. It's insulting.
But they acknowledge it now, don't they?
Yes, they do now.
And are they better around you and the
absolutely
whole...
fine
Yeah,
now. Absolutely
that's
fine.
good.
And as far as I'm concerned, like I said, they've tried to put wrongs right.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And we now get England are playing Belgium on Friday this week,
Okay.
and we all get invited. So we've been given 2 tickets to that.
Nice.
So to all games generally, I get a couple of tickets now. So I am going to that, and then at Wembley on the 1st of December, they've actually given us 4 tickets to come down, which is
good.
lovely because I can bring, might even bring my nephew,
Yes.
down with me as well. So that's lovely to share that with my family as well. So they are including us, and it's a lovely feeling because we have been there and we have paved the way for those people to do what they're doing now.
100%.
And if it wasn't for them, number ones and, who've been and done that, we'd have never have done it.
No.
And women's football was massive. When the men went off to war, the women played football. They were getting stadiums full. The men come back from war, stopped them playing football.
So none of them, when, the cap-wise,
Yeah.
when was that acknowledged by? Because, of course, as you said, in the war they were playing.
Yeah.
And then when was it actually
Oh,
acknowledged?
not for a long time.
Is your number 105, you said?
105, yeah, 105. So, I'm not that high up, am I, really?
No.
No, it did come a long time after that.
Yeah.
There were no caps available for women, until, like I said, probably in maybe 70s or something like that, 75 or something like that, maybe. You've got one of the players who the number 1s, 2s, 3s, they're in the probably 80s, 70s now.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
And some of them we met as well,
Okay,
So
nice.
when we had the reunion, we've all gone. And obviously I've seen all the old players, which is lovely to be involved. But I was kind of out, at that time you're outcast.
Yeah.
So if they've lost my records, how do they know to even invite me places?
This is it.
But it's not my fault they've lost the records.
No. But they should have all the team sheets, shouldn't they? Realistically, they should have an
the
archive.
paperwork in order
This is
to
it.
know players for the country at the Football Association. And like I said, they're not top of my list of people who have been very good
No.
at times. But like I said, they are doing better.
Yes.
They are trying. They are acknowledging. And so far, they've given us a few tickets and invited us to some matches, and they're including us,
No,
which
that's
is lovely.
good.
So I'm finally feeling a little bit more of an ex-England player than I've ever felt.
That's good.
Because, like I said, we're losing the records. I'm going to be a bit invisible. So
Do you get to meet the current players now, or?
yes. So
Okay, nice.
Again, when we went down for the caps, they actually presented them, and we actually
really?
went on the pitch at St George's Park when they were training. Serena were there, all the top players.
Oh, nice.
And obviously, I was going around to speak to them. On the feet. Hello. But I got hold of somebody like all the young players.
No, nice.
Lauren James, people like she'd be my ideal client. In a world full of sharks, I almost want to protect her.
Yeah.
I feel like she's hot property. She's a star of the future.
Well, everyone likened it to Beckham because of that red card in the World Cup,
Oh,
where it's
Yeah.
not her fault. I think it shows passion, not
Oh,
I'm going for a red, but
no.
this is it.
People talk nonsense.
No,
don't they? Don't
100%.
get involved in all that. But certainly that kind of would be one of my ideal players, where I just look at her and I just know that I can be of help to her.
Yes.
I'm not saying there's an issue or a problem.
No.
But maybe one time, an example of that when she got sent off. Maybe she's got these things set in place already, which is brilliant. Hope she has. But if she didn't, and she had that outlet just to know that she could come and speak to me personally.
Yeah.
And I know about being sent off. So I've got good experience with bookings and things, and people not liking you and you being unpopular. Listen, I love being unpopular, don't worry about it. It's not a problem. And there's nothing for her to feel anyway about. It's part of the game, it's part of learning. You make mistakes, you try and understand why you did it,
Yes.
and try and be better to go forwards.
No, I like that.
So I was meeting the players and obviously trying to network with them a little bit, passing my details on, and hopefully they just know, just to put that in place. I don't even expect a call next week, but just to give them that outlet and say, listen, if you ever need anybody and you need somebody in confidence to speak to in this fame, success world that you were in, You know,
Yes.
I'm just in Leeds, sat on my own.
Yeah.
You know, come and speak to me, you know, because I'll understand. Like I said, I'm 49. I've had a life of it, you
Yeah.
know, and anything you've been through, I've probably done myself.
That's nice. Of course, we've gone through your career, like, in and outside of football. What's deemed to you as your career high or your biggest achievement?
I think playing for your country is definitely the highest achievement
Yes.
that you can do. You know, singing the national anthem, you know, putting on that shirt and just being with that calibre of team, which are the best at the crop, you
Yes.
know, at that time. You know, I'm thinking, yeah, I've made this now. You know, that is where I want to be. That was an immensely proud moment for me to just validate all that hard work.
Did you get to keep the shirt?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I've got a red one. I've got a red shirt.
Nice.
But back in the day, you had the 10 sizes too big, so it looks like it's for giant haystacks. Again, I'm showing my age there now about all these wrestlers. But yeah, it's a big shirt and it's very baggy, and it probably fit two of me in there now. But there were men's shirts, you see, not fitted ladies' shirts. But I do have a red one, and that was the only thing up until the cap that I had to show. But still, you know, I did have that number 3 shirt.
Nice.
And it was funny because I originally was a centre forward. Number 10, I was always number 10 after Bobby Davison at Leeds United. He was my hero, and I put in a lot of goals. And then one day I was playing for Bronte at Saltaire, and he said, Channy, number 3, left back. Left back. And I'm looking round, you know, kind of the changing room, going, pointing, going, I'm not left back. And I said, what do you mean I'm left back? And he said, so-and-so turned up, you're going to have to go in left back. And I was like, you haven't left, are you? And he was like, no. Anyway, played left back. And I had the best game of my entire life. That was my downfall. I had the blinding game I had. And he said, right, that's it. Brilliant. Coming on there from left outline, crossing it over, getting to the byline. That's a great position for you. And I was like, yeah, but no, I don't, you know. Anyway, next game come, left back, all time. And I wasn't really happy, but I think that was a career-defining moment for me. Moving position, actually. Because if I want to move position, and I think the other message is always trust your coach, because they see things in you that maybe you didn't see.
Yes.
I thought they were all mental, you know, kind of not mental, it's the wrong word to use, but they're crazy, thinking I was going to go there. And then I went to Doncaster Belles, and I remember walking with Paul Edmonds, you know, was, you know, not stern, but he was to the point. And I got there and I was like, walking with him down the field, and I said, oh, hiya, Paul. I said, you know, I'm Channy. I said, I just want to tell you that, you know, I know I've come here as like left back and that, but actually I'm a centre forward. You know, I score a lot of goals up front, you know, I just want to let you know that I've got all that to my game. And he went, well, let me tell you something, Chantel Woodhead. I thought, oh no, what have I done? He said, I'm the manager of this team, he said, and I'll decide which is the best position for you. And I said, yeah, I know, that's not what I'm saying, but I'm just letting you know that. Anyway, next game came, left back, yeah, and literally went on to play for England at left back. So for all my moaning and actually thinking, you know, that's maybe not my position, they could see that I could make more impact in my career at left back than I did at centre forward. And I had two choices. I either could say, no, I don't agree with you, I'm going to be centre forward. Yeah, and that's a bit like the Rachel Daly situation at the moment.
Yeah, she plays.
She's got the both, and she's a great all-rounder. I'm a great, admirer of her play. Yeah. And the fact her mental strength is amazing in that she's had a lot of personal setbacks, and to be playing at the level she's playing at now, and being so flexible in positions, and having that mental strength to be almost a bit bullshit to say, actually, I'm a centre forward. Yeah. I respect that a lot, because I didn't. I went, all right, I'm happy. I'll just stay left back. You know what I mean? And it wasn't a bad decision for me. As is, Rachel can't make a bad decision neither. It's just making a choice. Yeah. But she's gone for, I still want to go for that centre forward because I can believe I can do a job there.
That makes sense.
She's always, again, the downside of that is she might be on the bench a bit more.
Okay.
But if she were left back more constantly, she might be that number 3 is hers every week. But she has a passion for being a centre forward, and she's going for that.
Yeah,
and she's great.
She plays that fast in Villa, doesn't she?
Absolutely, yeah. And she's a great centre forward. So she's got it's just what the manager sees for the team that's best to put her in that position.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of respect for her for going for it, whereas I didn't. I just stayed. But again, it wasn't a wrong decision for me. It worked really well for me.
Nice.
But like I said at the time, I just didn't. I didn't really believe the coaches. I was like, "Are you crazy? I'm not a left back." But actually, I was a left footer.
Yeah.
Sweet left foot. I was able to put in a lot of crosses. I could see the game coming forwards because I was a very, mental kind of player.
Yeah.
And when we talk about mental skills and things, and I was playing tennis the other day, and it's a great story. I was playing with a lady called Pauline, just in my local tennis club, and I win everything. So I'm like the champion. And I'm not being big-headed, but there ain't many people or women beating me at tennis, particularly in my area, in my county.
Yeah.
Because I'm that calibre of athlete.
Nice.
Again, I feel like I'm showing off. You're either there or you're there. So anything I do, any sport, I could pick up a cricket bat, I could pick up a golf, I could be a golfer. But I chose tennis, and everybody I was playing Pauline in the, I won the singles final, the ladies doubles, the mixed double, I won it all. But I'm playing Pauline, and everybody's saying, "Oh God, Pauline's coming up and coming play. You better watch out. Pauline's coming." She wasn't on with it either. She'd been training, and I was like, I wasn't bothered about Pauline. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they were like, "Are you not bothered? She's been training for you." I'm like, "Oh, bring it on." You know what I mean, kind of thing. And I went up the night before to put some nets up because I was doing a bit of coaching, and Pauline was training for about an hour in preparation to play me the next day. And this guy was playing her, and he went, he said, "God, she's like a brick wall. She's like a brick wall. Is this woman I'm playing like that?" And I looked at him and I thought, "More fool you, because I'm not going to be playing her like that. Because you'll never get through her like that." And then, so I went home and had a cup of tea and plotted how to beat Pauline. So Pauline plotted how to beat me with 2 hours on tennis court. I had a cup of tea. 10 minutes later, I had my game plan. Pauline, what is she good at? What is she not good at? She's got a great forehand. Keep it off her forehand. She loves to play it on the baseline. There's no way I'm getting into a battle on the baseline. So let's hit it short because she doesn't like running. Okay, she's not got a very good backhand, so I'm going to pummel the backhand side 10 times, in fact 20 times till she gets fed up. Yeah. Secondly, I'm going to hit it a little bit shorter in this area here because she don't like that angle, and that angle is going to be just very decisive to getting it back. She'll get it back, I'll volley it in, boom. Okay, game plan, cup of tea, finish my cup of tea. The day come, and I thought, right, I've got a good game plan, but I now need to implement it. Okay, and again, not worried, I'll implement this. My dad was watching, he's watched every match, he's 85. Every football match, any tennis match, he's with me all the way.
Nice.
And I came and I absolutely annihilated a 6-love. My dad said it was the best I'd ever played in my entire life, and I was good. And I even, sometimes I shock myself at how good I am. But even not reaching my potential even now in tennis.
Yeah.
I'm looking for bigger tennis because I'm not fulfilling my actual ability.
That's it.
I'm beating everyone, and somebody needs to challenge me a little bit more. And so the point was 2 hours on court for Pauline.
Yeah.
15 minutes for me and a cup of tea. Mental ability. Yeah, mental strength. Not only did I have the strength to get and the intelligence to have that plan about me.
Yeah.
I had the confidence and the standard to actually execute it. And I was very proud of myself, and that's a skill as well. Saying and being nice to yourself, I've got very good at that now. Being nice to myself.
No, that's good.
It's a skill because we're not.
No, we put ourselves down a lot, don't we?
So I was very pleased. But the strategy and the way I approached that game plan, even in tennis, would be similar to football.
Yes.
So if I had a player I was playing against, I wouldn't over worry about them, if I'm honest. I'd be more worried about what I'm going to do.
Yes.
And as a backup, I'd probably have a backup. I'd have a bit of insurance. So if they were really fast, then I've got to make sure they don't run.
Yeah.
How's that?
True.
That's not the problem. So what we're going to do is getting our tackles early, so we don't even get to that because we know they're faster than us.
That's it.
So we'll take them down, but legally. Yeah. So yeah. just fun and games like that. So
nice.
Yeah, talk about all sorts, couldn't we, Adam?
We could.
Football and sport related.
That's it. And I mean, apart from what you've got going on with On Your Feet and tennis, is there anything else that you've got kind of planned in the pipeline, or is it kind of On Your Feet is taking up majority of your time trying to get it up and running?
Yeah, absolutely. My plans are, I really like to put some time into this business because I know that there is a need for it.
Nice.
And I just want to continue to work. I have a passion, like I said, to make it work. And I'm not in it for financial gain, actually. Yes,
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm not going to be thankful of it, but that is not what drives me. I'm not driven by money. I'm driven by passion and people. So, and I think that makes a difference.
100%.
You know what I mean?
The money will follow with that anyway.
Well, if it does, brilliant.
Yeah.
But if not, I'd still get as much out of it because I've never been, around money for it to be an issue, even in football or anything. I do it, out of that. But really want to make the company work and be there for footballers and put something in place for them to have somewhere to go with somebody who's been there, who can relate and have the experience, who can share that with them, and even the do's and don'ts to don't do what I did. Yeah. Do this. Or, I can see that would work.
100%.
Or managers like this. Managers love a player that will listen. And nobody ever listens. So a basic skill is listening. Be told once and do it.
That's it.
And that will not only make you look good, you know what I mean, but it will just show your calibre.
That's it.
So we're trying to improve standards. So, very passionate about the business and want to make it a success. Of course, have my own fears a little bit of will it, develop into what I want it to, and my vision for the company. Maybe even in the future, I have plans to, I'm cracking on a bit now, but, even in the future, get certain players who are similar thoughts to me and the way I am to maybe come in and work in the company,
which will be good, yeah.
At the end of their careers. So it might be a player that's had lots of injuries. I might need somebody who, I'm having players coming in with injuries and you've got more experience with that than me.
100%.
Although I have just come back from a snapped Achilles, by the way, so I know all of that. And that's another thing. I snapped my Achilles and all I wanted to do was cry. I've been devastated. And you know what? Who can I ring to cry? Absolutely no one.
There you go.
Where's my number to ring? Where was somebody when I needed them get through my Achilles because I was a total mess? I didn't want to ring my parents. I didn't want to ring my friends. So where's a number where I can ring and just cry, actually? I don't even need you to talk to me. I just want to cry.
There you go, and you are that for everyone else.
That's why now I've got that in place. If you're injured and you just need to cry even because you're so upset, because it's upsetting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's a shock as well. To continue to work the business, to make it a success and to make an impact in people's lives is really important to me. That's the ultimate. And to get them and allow them to play to their full potential. And then when they end their career, they can look back with no regrets and know that they've done the best they can. And they've also not just worked on the physical game, but they've appreciated the importance of the mental side of the game.
Yes.
Which is the thought process, the beliefs, and, are they living their life aligned to their values?
That's it. I mean, how can players find you and On Your Feet and find out more information about it? It's, of course, you've spoken so well about it on here, but how are people able to get hold of you?
Sure, thank you. They can go to the website. I have a website which you can go and check out a little bit more information on there.
Yes.
It says a little bit more. There's also a link there where you can book a call with me. So if you just go fill that in, that will come straight to me and I will arrange that.
Nice.
The other thing is you can email me direct on your feet, on your feet 56. Let me get this right, actually. So we got it right, yeah. On your feet 56 at gmail.com is the email address. onyourfeet.uk is the website that you can go check out. I'm also on Instagram and other social media platforms. And I also, Adam, will leave my personal number with you at the end of this. And then should anybody ever get in touch or feel like that they want to know any more information, you can absolutely.
Yeah, I can signpost them to you.
You can be
100%.
the middleman on the main man, the main man,
100%.
and pass that over, and they can contact me then.
Nice.
I do always give a free introduction hour
Nice.
where you can come for nothing, no pressure. Come and speak to me, because it's important that we get on,
Yes.
and you like me and I can work with you, and we want the same things.
And is it just football, or can it be all sports?
At the moment, I am working just with football.
Yes.
Because that is my speciality, if you like. That
Yes.
is my niche. I know football, I understand football, and I know what football's like, because I still got that mentality of being one.
Yes.
I suppose that my job can work with any sport, actually.
Okay,
As
nice.
a golfer, a cricketer, and although I'm not going into that right now, I may do if we don't make it, but I'm still very positive of making it with my footballers.
Good.
And I don't want to go off and work with, a cricketer, let's say Freddie Flintoff,
Yeah.
and then my Jack Grealish come and say, I need you here.
That's it.
You know what I mean? Because it's first and foremost is football for me. So at the moment, I'm sticking just to football, and I'm actually turning money down in order to do that.
Yeah.
So there are people from other sports saying, can I work with you? And I'm going, no, because I'm for my football people.
Nice.
And the problem I've got is football people don't not want me, but they don't know I'm around just yet.
So it's just getting you noticed.
And like I said, this is lovely to be on here, because this is my first podcast, and
There
I've
you
almost
go.
been a little bit disappointed that nobody's asked me, because it's such an important message to get out there. I want you to help others. You're not even helping me. You're helping other people and spread the word.
That's what it needs,
And we're
isn't
working
it?
together.
That's the thing. Word of mouth is the most important thing, and nowadays, of course, it has to be done through different senses of media, I guess. And this is the way. Of course, I asked you before we start recording this, have you been on one? And that's the thing. I like to have rawness in a capacity as well as then I know that you'll talk and we'll get the true you out of it instead of being media trained, as we'll call it. Which I like. I mean, I was gonna go on now and ask about kind of advice on what you'd give maybe to your younger self or maybe a younger player, and as well as if there's anything that you do differently. So I call it kind of the reflective part at the end.
Yes. It's a great question. Again, I think the first thing that I should do is not wear the wrong trousers. I think that's the main thing that I should tell my younger self. If you're given a tracksuit,
wear
you're provided with it, wear it, even if nobody else is. But I think the advice I would give to my younger self is probably remember that eyes are always on you. And I think sometimes we forget.
Yes.
And even in our innocent little things, there's always people watching. Always. In all walks of life. And just be aware of that. Be careful who you hang around with. Your environment.
Yes.
And, if you're going to do something a bit cheeky, not naughty, cheeky, then just be aware of it, because, what's the saying? What you do in the dark comes out in the light.
That's good. I like that. I've never heard that before, but now I like that.
Yeah. So, a very wise woman. What you do in the dark comes out in the light, so I always cross my T's and dot the I's.
Nice.
Stick that in your pipe, because you're not going to come back at me, because that's where I'm at.
Nice.
And leave no stone unturned.
Which of course you're passing on to the people you're working with as well, and I mean, everything that you do, I feel links nicely together. It's not kind of something here, something there. It's kind of you've come full circle in a sense.
That's right.
You've kind of had the career, you've come away from it, and now you've been like U-turn, come back, and it's all looped together, which I like.
And I think push yourself to the limits. I don't think I did, but I didn't know.
Yeah,
I thought I was, but I obviously wasn't. There's so much more I could have done, and if I'd have known that, I would have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think, did I, even now to be honest, do I push myself to the limits? Probably take my own advice. Not always. I go to the gym, I won't always be out of breath. And that's what I'm saying, we should, if we're doing something, we should push it where we can't breathe.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
100%.
We take it to our absolute limits. If we're going to do a job, let's do it properly. Because I probably did it a little bit, not half-heartedly, but there was more to give.
100%.
So push yourself to the limits, and also, seek to look up somebody like myself
Yeah.
to, who's there to help you and show you there are other options or other ways that you can enhance and get better.
No, I like that. No, that's a good way. And I mean, you put the business across in an amazing way. And I mean, people should check it out if they haven't.
Brilliant.
I've got some quick fire questions for
Go
you.
for it.
So it's just about kind of some football related, some are just general. So the first one is kind of, I think you touched on it already, but footballing idol or your icon. So if you could choose one person that you go, yeah, that's the person that I see when I think of a football player.
Oh gosh, that's well, I think at the minute it's got to be Haaland.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. I love the fact that he's got a quality about him.
Nice.
And I think there was recently they were all passing the tops into physio, throwing them and all that, and Haaland walked over and placed it to him in his hand.
Which shows.
And that to me that's what I'm about.
Yeah.
There's just a little bit extra there, and that shows respect.
100%.
And you're not throwing it. Have a bit of respect. Never mind throwing it at your coach. Yeah.
Very
or
true.
pass it to him and give it to him in his hand.
Yeah.
It's
it's just a respect thing at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who would you liken yourself to in the modern days game? So you can choose striker or left back.
I probably would say Rachel Daly in a way.
Because she can do both.
Yeah, she can do both. She was centre forward, she's a left back, and I'm loving her boots at the minute. Like green and white.
Yeah.
And I once had a Kawasaki motorbike that were green and white. And I had to get rid of that. It brought too many bad habits. But I love the green and white thing, So,
nice.
Just like I said, her attitude, the way she approaches the game, she's got that killer instinct about her, and I know she's a winner. And
yes.
I'm a winner. And winners know winners.
There we are. No, that's fair. And I like it. You chose someone that fits the mould of both positions. Yeah. You could have gone one of each, but no, you picked.
And if we were to have a conversation again, I can relate to anything and everything that she's saying and going through.
Well, hopefully you get to meet her at these England games that you're going to.
Yeah.
So that's a hope. Hopefully you can go into them games. Hopefully helps you
just
connect with them.
Additional support, but I know I can bring something different because I am different.
Yes.
There's no two Chantels or two Shannys, and we're not. And like I said, occasionally, I won't lose my personality, and I think these days they do try and take it away a little bit.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep a personality because you can be controversial or you might not agree with everybody or the norm, but 100%. I don't think that's wrong. I think I think that if you do have an opinion, I'm an old school person as well, so I just think that if you've got something to say, you should be free to say it within reason,
Yes.
And not everybody has to agree, and that's fine.
Nice.
I don't have to agree with your opinion.
Very
you don't
true.
have to agree with me, but don't stop me having one.
That
because
is
it's
true.
a right.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But I'm not going to be throwing it everywhere neither. So, but I think personality is really important, and I think we're rare breeds these days, and I won't stop laughing, and I won't stop having fun, and kind of being who I am, because I think you can only be your authentic self.
Very
so
true.
Occasionally that gets me into trouble, but only in a cheeky way.
No, that's it.
Only in a cheeky way. Nothing bad.
Good.
Nothing bad. But to those rebels out there, that are a little bit got that cheeky smile on the face. Again, I know where you're coming from, and it's just maintaining and monitoring that we stay in that cheeky kind of vibe rather than taking it to another level.
100%.
Yeah, and staying focused.
Nice. Is there one piece of football memorabilia that you have? I know that you've got the cap and the shirt now, but is there anything else?
No, because
too.
That's the only thing I have, and the shirt that I played in. And that's the only thing I was always going to just have, I thought. But now they've come back, they've got the legacy cap.
Yes.
There's a lot to me. I would have loved a cap from the game, actually, that said V Italy, like everybody else. But I've got to be thankful, don't be ungrateful now, Chantal. They've got a legacy cap, 105. They've acknowledged I've played for England. I didn't need that, but I like it.
Yes.
That it's being acknowledged.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I've acknowledged it myself.
Yes.
I don't need to prove my truth, which is what the FA wanted me to do. And I said I wasn't. I won't come.
No.
I just won't come then. But I can't, I can only tell you I sang the national anthem and it happened. I didn't dream it, But I'm glad it's all been sorted out now, and it looks really positive for the future. Like I said, with the women's game coming so far forwards, it's viewed differently. Many years ago, we wouldn't tell anybody we even played. I wouldn't even tell anybody I played football. No.
That's mad, isn't it? How it's changed now.
And embarrassing. And then the lads would go, oh yeah, you know what I mean? You're just better off not saying anything.
Just putting your head down and getting on with it.
Yeah, but now it's almost like, I always feel a bit silly because, we're not blowing our own track, and it's hard for me to say, oh, hi, I'm Chantel, I'm an England international. I often speak to someone who don't mention that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not used to it being viewed on as actually a really good thing now. It was more negative back there.
True.
Where now it's positive. And so, it's lovely that we're acknowledging women and they're getting recognised, and the game is going to go huge even more.
Yeah, I agree.
It's only going to get better, but, we haven't got, big 30-stone women playing in the game now. We've got athletes. They're athletes.
Very true.
You know what I mean? They're absolutely primed, and, gone are them days when, you did get some overweight players, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're all in good shape now, and fine fettle, and we're showing the world what actually girls can do. And there's some great players out there, great players. And I'm just finding my passion for it again.
Yeah.
It's coming back, and, it's been a while since I've even gone to games because I just left. I was so sad, you know what I mean? I left the game. And it's now, I'm going to England one on Friday. It's rare for me to go to games, but I'm just finding that I'm starting to get that little feeling again, where a little buzz.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
And my clients, like I said, when they do well, oh my God, it's just amazing. I'm just so happy for them, and I'll be watching some of them players, and I'll be like, come on, because I want what they want.
No, that's good.
So really, really excited about the future. Really excited for the women and the guys. You know what I mean as well. Some really positive stuff happening in the game. But the downside is there are also a lot of people who are struggling with certain aspects of the career, of the journey.
Yes.
And I just encourage those people to either come in and speak to me just for a chat. Come and tell me what's been going on. It's confidential, and then we will determine whether we just need that one chat and you're okay, or whether you should book in for one of my signature programme.
Yeah.
Which is just an 8-week course of having 8 weeks looking and finding out who you are as a character and a person, what works for you, what doesn't, what's your mindset like at the moment, is it in the right place, is it where we need it to be, and what's happening with your performances. Are you getting consistent performances? Are you having just 1 in 5? That's a good game.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Are you happy with where you're playing? There's so much to discuss. I could talk football all year, but why they're not coming in as much as I'd like them to, I don't know. Because if I had me available, I would be biting my hand off. Because anybody who's working with me is going to have a more enhanced chance to either get in the first team or get nearer to playing for the country.
Yeah.
Because I'll make sure of it.
Yeah, you're going to drive them towards it, which is nice.
If I have to pull them, I will. I'll go with them. But we'll get you there somewhere, or we'll do our very best to do that.
Nice.
Yeah, and the fact that you're smiling, you're happy, and we're happy to see each other is what we want, and we're building friendships as well.
Oh, exactly. 100% is.
And that, like I said, that Doncaster Belles team that we won the treble with, and that, I see them at matches, and I tell you, it's a bond that will never die, because we've shared that experience.
Yes.
You're just making memories, you know what I mean? And if we can get them into a team that's successful and you live in the dream, why would that not be something that you would want as a footballer?
This is it.
But I'm also there to support you with that fear of not being a footballer, because I can help there as well, because it's not the end of the world.
No, 100% it
Yes,
isn't.
we're going to try and make it. Yes, we are. But when I actually discover how many, like I said, qualities you've got to your bow, we're going to be have too many options to actually what we could go into.
Yeah.
Whether we stay in the game, coaching, physio, working as a mentor, so many things.
There is so many roles there that people
so it's not
can
the
go
end,
into.
but the fear cannot outgrow actually what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I'd agree.
And if I asked my client yesterday, I asked one client who was younger, and he said, "Oh, the biggest fear is not being a footballer." Fine. And then I asked my older client, who I've been working with, is that a fear of yours? And he said, "No, it's not a fear anymore, because we've made him so secure in himself that he's not bothered." And one of my mottos is, "Know thyself."
Yes.
If you know yourself, nobody else can touch you.
Very true.
And I'm quite confident like that. So I'm very much, you can't get in.
Yeah.
And I always remember where I lived, somebody accused me of pinching Mary's bin, right? Dustbin, right? And I didn't do it. I didn't, right? And it were all news on the street 2 years ago. Say, "Oh, she's nicked Mary's bin," right? It was 90. Mary's 90. And I was like, oh, sorry. I was like, I didn't pinch Mary's bin. Who said that? And let's say Nick had said, pinch Mary's bin. So I thought to myself, well, what am I going to do now? Because everyone thinks I've pinched Mary's bin. Do I knock on every door on the street and tell them, "Listen, Ruth, I didn't pinch Mary's bin"? Do I do that? Or do I, because I actually thought this, or do I go, hang on a minute, I can't do that. I'm going to have to go, I know I didn't pinch Mary's bin. And all my friends know me. And they know I wouldn't pinch Mary's bin. So I come to the conclusion, listen, think whatever, because my mates and my people know I didn't. And I don't have to prove anything to anybody else who thinks. Because if you don't believe me, you're not a friend of mine anyway.
No.
Does that make sense? So that's just a good analogy about opinions and somebody saying something that isn't true. How did I deal with being accused of pinching Mary's bin? Well, I just thought, well, I didn't do it. I know I didn't do it because I asked myself the truth.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of lies. And I know that my people will know me.
Yes.
So I just didn't bother about that. But you'd get another person who'd go, "I don't like that. Why has he said that?" And, they're then going to go and talk to that person or go knock on every door in the street. What a waste of time.
It is a waste.
So know yourself. Ask yourself the question. If somebody accuses you of doing something, ask yourself, did you do it? And if you didn't, then fine. If you did, then you're going to have to own it.
Yeah.
Or you hold your hand up, you say, actually, I did do it, I did. And I've done that a few times, which again has got me into trouble. So they said, have you done that? I said, well, actually, yeah, I did. And then you can do all that information with what you want.
No, 100%.
But being authentic is one of my things that I look to be. And that's what you're getting out today, Adam.
Yeah, 100%.
And because I'm your first podcast, I'm probably quite raw.
No, I allow
that. There's no filter, really. Yeah, I'm just telling you how it is. And I'm not looking to upset or offend or step on anybody's toes, because in the game, all these people, the player care people and all that, are doing great jobs.
Yeah.
Within their clubs. And like I said, I don't want to step on anybody's toes. Even England's, but just having that extra outlet, what harm can it be in a world where mental health is massive?
100%, I agree with that, and I think you've conveyed it well today, saying that you say, "Oh, it's raw and everything." I still feel like you've hit the message home, and hopefully people will get that.
Brilliant.
No, of course, just before we finish, of course, you mentioned about how people can find you. Do you want to just reel them off again, just so people can remember it again?
Thank you, Adam. Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. Come and either come onto the website and go check that out, because there's a little bit more information, and that is onyourfeet.uk.
Yes.
Okay, you can go find me there. onyourfeet56@gmail.com is my direct email. That will come through straight to me. Like I said, there's only me in the company, so it's not like there's another 5 of us. And Instagram and social media networks, I'm on them as well. You can just look up On Your Feet. That should bring you to me. And I will also leave my personal number with yourself, Adam, so that if anybody rang in and said, "Oh, that woman, that crazy woman who you were speaking to, Shani, I want a bit of her, so can you send me her number?" I have no problem with you passing that on.
Nice.
And you can find me all there, or ultimately just type in these days my name into Wikipedia,
and they'll come up.
All my details and where I live comes up, and everything, all details, I don't like bananas, everything, But don't believe everything you hear.
Oh, exactly. No, go to the horse's mouth.
Absolutely. But yeah, they're the places that you can find me, and I'm pretty available.
Perfect. And I mean, I'm going to put the links on as well, so if people
Excellent.
didn't catch it, it'll be below when it comes out.
Yeah.
But no, thank you so much for coming on and giving us an insight into, of course, playing,
Yeah.
as well as, of course, your company and what it actually is doing. And I hope, and I do believe that it's going to strive on and push forward,
Brilliant.
and hopefully more people will come out of the woodwork
Yeah, that's what we want.
to gain help and kind of
Yeah.
develop themselves.
Yeah.
But no, it's
Yeah.
been amazing. Thank you
Starts
for
with
coming
a call, doesn't it? You know what I mean? It starts with a click. these days.
Exactly. And then people go from there. So
I just say, what have you got to lose? What have you got to lose? If you want to improve and be a better footballer and a better person
yes,
in life, what have you got to lose than trying to come in for a couple of sessions and see if that can help? Because I
100%.
believe, and even if it didn't, you've lost nothing.
Very true.
And it just amazes me that so many people, they work so much on different things, you know, the technical ability, the nutrition, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Technical, you know, all of that. But mental.
They
Where's
don't. Yeah, they don't really work on it.
And I love a chat. You know, and I've had a few, we've all had probably a bit of counselling in the past for various reasons. And there was this one woman, and every week I'd have her, you know, go in and she'd say, "How are you today?" I'd say, "Gosh, Sarah, I can't tell you about what happened last Tuesday. You know, we're at market, it was nothing to do, I just love to chat."
Yeah.
And then I'd go in next day and I'd say, "Oh, Sarah, God, well, this week we're even busier." And then it'd come to one week and she'd go, "We're out of time, we're out of time." I was like, "But I haven't told you about this yet." You know, and then the next Thursday I'd go and she'd say, "You do realise that this is our last session?" And I said, "Well, who am I going to talk to, Sarah?" And actually, there's not a lot wrong with it. You know, and it doesn't need to be. That's the point.
No, it's just having that outlet.
Love to come in, actually.
Yeah.
And offload and get everything off my shoulders and off my chest that had happened that week or anything that bothered or worried me.
Yeah.
And she didn't really tell me a lot, but she just listened to me.
That's what you need, though.
But the other thing you get off me is a bit of feedback. Whereas if you've ever talked to somebody, a counsellor, they listen and they're great.
Yeah.
But you don't really get you're like waiting for something to come back off them.
100%.
And they're like, "Oh, well, what do you think you should do about that then?" You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And yes, I'll be saying that, but I'll be giving you a few options as well. Well, we could either do that, we could do this. Would you think that'd work? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I love to just come in for a chat, even though there's nothing wrong. But I'm still working on my mental ability because I'm talking about mental things. Talking about my mind, how my mind's worked that week, how somebody has annoyed me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And upset me. And actually, when they've turned it round, it's me who's upset them. And by talking it out, we've found that we've looked at a different angle. And actually, I've been pulled in a few times to say, actually, that's not correct.
No.
Oh. But it's good for me.
Yeah, it helps you out.
Absolutely. So, like I said, the message is you don't have to have a reason for coming in. You know, if you like football and you've got that football mind and mindset, you will love talking to me.
Yes.
And we build from there, depending on who you are. Every client is different. And the course, the signature course, is a bespoke course made individually.
Yeah.
It's not one course.
No, that's good.
So I do 8 sessions. After speaking to you now, I'm going to take this session out and replace it to something else that's relevant for you.
That's good.
So no one signature program is the same.
No, that's good.
It's designed for your needs.
Yeah.
Not mine. So yeah, very excited about the future, Adam. And like I said, I thank you again for having me on your podcast.
You're welcome.
And if that leads us to network and, you know, engage with other people like-minded, then that's what we want, isn't it?
Exactly.
And obviously your podcast will hopefully do really well in the future as well.
Oh, no, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you for coming on. And it's been a pleasure.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Peeking into Success podcast. If you've enjoyed what you've listened to today and would like to listen to more, go and check out the previous episodes on our channels and make sure you follow the page as well to keep up to date with the new exciting episodes that we've got upcoming for the rest of the year.